So remember when I was saying there were only 2 buildings in the original Revenant's Toll? One was this one over here, and the other one was this one over here. Well, this is why this one is one of the buildings. The Magitek armor, Sid and the others took it inside. Go on in and join them. Because you needed a place to house the Magitek armor, see? Have your little cutscenes and stuff. We've now had time to take a closer look at the Reaper. Our preliminary diagnosis was correct. She's structurally sound, but her servo mechanism is faulty. You needn't worry though, Biggs and Wedge will see her restored to the former glory in no time at all. Give those 2 something to mend, and they will think of naught else but till the job's done. It is a marvelous thing to behold, provided you remind them to visit the Pivy. That means go to the bathroom. The repairs are proceeding apace. It shouldn't be too long now before Biggs and Wedge complete their work. There is, however, one small problem. As you may recall, the machine's servo mechanism was discovered to be faulty. Wedge has subsequently ascertained that the Magitek core, which drives it, is worn beyond use. Such cores are rather fragile devices which must be replaced at regular intervals. Thanks to the negligence of our Imperial colleagues, however, the one in the Reaper the one used in this Reaper was long overdue. Alas, we do not have access to a ready replacement here in Mordona. But all is not lost. Wedge thinks he may have identified an alternate solution. Go and see him, would you? He'll explain the details to you. Just in case you guys are wondering, I thought I'd point this out. This Magitek armor is completely designed after the Magitek armor in Final Fantasy VI, which is the greatest Final Fantasy and maybe greatest RPG of all time. As I believe the chief has already informed you, the Magitek core is worn beyond use. We need to find a replacement. I thought about having you appropriate more Reapers, but even if the dunder-headed maintenance engineers at Castrum Sentry had remembered to replace their cores, we would risk arousing Imperial suspicion. But no need to despair, for I believe there's a solution. To substitute the Magitek core with the Mammoth Heart. In case you don't know, a Mammoth Heart can be used to grant sentience to an automation. By my reckoning, such a device should be more than capable of regulating the armor's mechanisms. We'll just need to make some more minor modifications to the housing unit. I've already placed an order for a first-rate Mammoth Heart with the Goldsmiths Guild. All that remains is for someone to go to Ul'dah and collect it. Oh, and to pay for it. Did I mention how much they cost? No. Well, they typically cost something in the order of... I hope you don't mind putting the bill. It's for a good cause. Aha, see? I was right. I don't know why they took this out though, because they're making me go to the goldsmith anyway, but you used to go to this Sark guy and he would offer to pay for it. Interesting that they took that one little tiny step out for some reason. Hello there, come to collect the Mammoth Heart, you say? Then you must be here on behalf of Garland Ironworks. I have taken the liberty of picking the finest example we have, a heart fit for a prince among mammoths. Payment? Oh, that won't be necessary. The heart is for Master Alpino's personal use after all. He notified us a short while ago that his servant would be coming to collect it. Okay, well, I appreciate that he's paying for it, but at the same time, I am not his servant, just to clarify. Tender in years though he may be, Master Alpino has been a benefactor of ours since my predecessor's time. The Goldsmiths Guild wouldn't dream of charging him. But here is the Mammoth Heart. May it serve you well. Oh, and please do pass on my compliments to your master. Again, not my master, but whatever. That's interesting. So they changed that. I don't know why though. Like, you still have to come to the Goldsmith Guild. There's really not any, and they didn't change the fact that that adventurer is still like a rich merchant's son. So I really don't know why they changed that. That's a very interesting altercation that doesn't feel like it did anything. Want to go in? It hardly needs saying, but try not to be seen. Do you want the mammoth heart? Or wait, do you have the mammoth heart? You want the mammoth heart. Do you have the mammoth heart? I can't wait to see if it works. Hurrah! Thank you so much. But this is magnificent. It must have cost an emperor's ransom. Free of charge, courtesy of Alpino, coming from an influential family certainly has its advantages. But without further ado, let's give it a try. I've already modified the housing unit, so it should slot right in. There, she's ready. Magitek armor, engage. Or not. She just needs the loving tap, I'll wager. Yes, she's alive! Let's take her outside and put her through her paces. Sophie, would you care to do the honors? Hop into the pilot seat. We'll begin as soon as you're ready. First, I'd like you to try climbing that tangle of crystals yonder, as far up as you can go, if you please. Oh, and if for some reason you need to dismount, simply come back here and we'll start again. No anomalous movements evident from either leg. Good. Next, jump back down and then sprint north quick as you can. Alright. Leg joints absorbing all impact without incident. Excellent. Please make your way back, Sophie. The torso remains stable during vigorous motion. Excellent. And that concludes our test. Thank you for your cooperation. Here is a summary of my findings. The drivetrain is in sound condition. With some fine-tuning, we can expect a noticeable improvement in the performance. As for the servo mechanism, I'm afraid it's not nearly as responsive as it should be, and I'm at a loss as to explain why. The mammoth heart is in pristine condition and should be installed correctly. Perhaps its inner workings are simply too different to operate harmoniously with the armor's other mechanisms. Whereas Magitek cores serve only to conduct impulses, mammoth hearts enable automata to process the information collected by their sensors as feelings. Maybe she just doesn't feel like part of the team, in which case we should all do our best to make her feel welcome. Yeah, I'm supposed to welcome the robot mount thing. Click. Daft as it felt, I gave it my best. I welcomed myself to a bloody standstill. What were you expecting it to do anyway? Bob and curtsy? No doubt you're wondering why the servo mechanism is so important as to warrant this silliness. Without it, the pilot would be required to control the armor's every movement manually. This would be an onerous task at the best of times and wholly impractical during battle. Using a mammoth heart in place of the worn Magitek core seemed a promising solution. Alas, the device does not appear to be compatible with Garlean technology. Wedge, are there no other ways we might demonstrate our appreciation to our friend here? I'm at my wit's end, Chief. She just doesn't seem convinced. We could try a little dance, perhaps, or cheer our heads off. Imperials, they've come for the armor. Damn it, they have us cornered. There's the Reaper. Taken by the traitor Garland? And is that the Icon Slayer? Slayer? Oh, bollocks. Call for reinforcements. The hells you will. We've located the stolen Reaper. Requesting immediate assistance. Respond. Respond. It's no use, sir. There's some sort of interference. Curse you, Garland. No matter. If we can't reclaim it, destroy it. Bloody hells. Sophie, protect the armor at all costs. Why didn't we steal one of those things? They look pretty cool. This isn't really a very hard fight, as you can tell. Chief, look, she moved. Ah, now she deigns to grace us with her presence. It took us a good while, but we're finally ready. It is time to infiltrate Castrum Sentry and rescue our comrades. There, the finishing touch. Yeah, basically by protecting the sweet, innocent little Magitek armor, now it cares for us too. It's a part of the family. The servo mechanism is now fully functional, and all it took was a simple fight to the death. Remind me not to install a mammoth heart aboard the Enterprise, would you? Much as I love her, I would rather not be required to profess it before boarding. But enough of that. Let us see to our final preparations. Thanks to Biggs and Wedge, the Reaper is as good as new. We're as prepared as we'll like to get. How do your preparations, Sophie? How go your preparations, Sophie? We'll leave as soon as you're ready. Lamont, you came. I thought I'd give you a roaring send-off. This is the least I can do for the fine men and women what are about to make my lifelong wish come true. Well, we'll do our best. It occurs to me, for all the help you've afforded us, we know little and less about you. What did the Empire do to earn your ire? Ah, but I fear I've put curiosity before consideration. I quite understand if you'd rather not relive the memories. No, I don't mind, really. Truth be told, a part of me was itching to tell you my tale. Mind you, 'tis hardly novel. I ain't the first to suffer at Imperial hands. Like most folk, I used to have a mother. She was a sweet, caring woman with a smile never far from her face. There was a sister too, pretty little thing she was. Gentle as a lamb, but tough as nails. We were poor folk, living simple lives, but we knew happiness just the same. And then the Imperials came and took it all away. When Alamigo fell, they put my family in a camp. Being a lad, I was made to do hard labor, while my mother and sister were forced to do far worse. They hid their suffering from me as best they could, but I knew, and the thought of it drove me mad. We had to escape, and so I hatched a plan to get us out of the city. We were picking our way around a gorge not far outside the walls when they caught up to us. And rather than allow themselves to be taken again, my mother and sister leaped over the edge before my very eyes. Heartbroken as I was, I didn't put up a fight when the Imperials clapped me in chains and dragged me back. 'Twas some years after that I escaped again, and that time I got away. I swore then that I'd get revenge on the Empire and become an adventurer, so as to hone my skills and earn the coin I needed. But nigh on 2 decades since gone by, and what have I achieved? Bugger all, that's what. Not like you lot. You ain't been here 10 minutes and you've already done more than I managed in 10 bloody years. You give us too much credit, Glamont. We seek only to rescue our friends. Well, what's more important than that? In any road, after you've got your friends back, you're planning on going after the Empire, and don't pretend you ain't. I've helped a few folk take on the Imperials over the years, and every time I have, it helps stave off my appetite for revenge, but something tells me I won't be going hungry for a while, what with everything you've got planned. And you are sure that will satisfy you. If you wish to strike back at the Empire with your own hand, you need only say the word. We would be glad to have you with us. Tempting though your offer is, I'm afeard I must decline. I swore I'd get revenge on the Empire, 'tis true, but I've long since realized that the front line is no place for a man like me. There's some as would call me craven, but I prefer to think of myself as a realist. My talents lie in scheming, you see, not swordplay. Helping folk like you is how I make the most difference. But that's quite enough storytelling for one day. Best not keep my friends, or keep your friends waiting any longer. I'll be praying for your safety and success. May Rauger give you strength. Man, I forgot that part of his story. Like, it's bad enough that his mom and his sister committed suicide so they didn't have to go back to the Empire, but I forgot the detail of why they were that fearful of returning, and in case you don't know what was going on, they were being abused. We'll just go with that. And it was enough that they didn't want to live anymore if they were going to have to go back to that. So it's sad. This game, like I said, it has those moments where it's not like yay happy fun times. Like, they take some parts pretty serious. Wherever the Empire goes, misery invariably follows in its wake. For the sake of all who call Eorzea home, we must put an end to Gaius' ambitions. But first, we have friends to rescue. Biggs, Wedge, and I will lie in wait east of Castrum Sentry, just outside the Stronghold's patrol perimeter. Join us when you're ready. Oh, and don't forget to wear your disguise, or this will be the shortest rescue mission in history.